All right, guys, so here we are to talk about episode 5 of Iron Fist. So what happened in this episode? Where do we start off?
Heroin.
Heroin indeed.
Like it's the best heroin.
Heroin, and for like the whole episode, I was like, come on, Ward, take the heroin.
Yeah.
I was paid off.
Did he actually? They don't show him taking the heroin.
Oh, he took the heroin.
I hope he took the
He
heroin.
took the heroin.
His thing was empty too. His like bottle of.
Oh well, you know, he took everything. The
Right.
man had limited drugs at his disposal, and some of the
No.
best H this time.
That's how it works. Every now and then you just have to take all the drugs in the house.
You know, we've all been there.
It's like spring cleaning,
Of your arteries.
but drugs. Yeah, no. So there's that heroin, but that heroin comes from like it's the best heroin ever. A heroin expert tests the heroin. There's heroin stewardesses.
Yeah, no, that was pretty cool. So like the shot starts off with 3 stewardesses walking, and then they all just break off going different directions, and they all pair up with different drug dealers and like, try my shit, it's so good. Oh, I'm the Mary Kay salesman of fucking drugs.
Yeah, like pharmaceutical reps, like hard
Yeah.
selling. It's the best. It's this. It's pure. It's that. It's whatever. And I guarantee it will never do. That's all. This whole fucking pitch.
And then at one point we see them all go into the Rand,
Yeah,
and we didn't see them again. So I'm like, where were they going?
Right. So,
Did they start there? Like,
well,
like, were they going back to drop off their like briefcases, or were
Yeah,
they going
so-
to pitch?
the way that I took it was that the Rand Enterprises has already been established as a pharmaceutical company
Sure.
in like the business of chemicals and pharmaceuticals and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they may have had something to do with that's how I took it. That may not make sense, but that's how I took it. Like there's actually something within Rand Enterprises that's working on this heroin or whatever the fuck.
I think that makes sense.
I don't know if it does though, because it's coming in on a pier. So where are they making it? And they were importing the science.
Well, it
whatever.
would make sense that you have to perfect it here, and then you'd ship the formula somewhere else to get made in mass surplus. Because you
I
can't just
guess.
make drugs. I guess you could, but
Yeah.
you'd want to do that offshore, I would assume.
I have no idea, but that's how I took it. Because why else would you like the first 3 episodes were all about like he wants to lower the price of the drug, and this episode like we have the family has cancer because of our chemical plant. We make
Yeah.
chemicals. We buy real estate. We make chemicals and drugs. We sell drugs. We make money off selling drugs. Selling drugs, money, peers, money, peer, drug, money.
Yeah,
I don't know though,
it's possible.
but it's like
I'm sure they'll hit us over the head with it soon.
if they haven't already. But it's the dopest heroin ever. It's very exciting.
Pun intended.
It's like the first time.
Yeah, very interesting. The idea that it leaves no tracks. It makes it so you can't ever need more of it. Like, what's the word for that?
Yeah.
It blocks your ability to get used to it.
Tolerance, yeah.
Tolerance.
See, we'll never
That's
build up
the
a
word.
tolerance
No
to it.
tolerance.
Yeah, that junkie was overjoyed. This
Yeah.
is some good ass
He,
shit.
he got overturned in his chair. He was so happy.
He was taken aback.
Seat.
Oh. So Joy's a stone cold bitch. The aforementioned
little bit.
cancer case, chemical plant, whatever. Oh, so it's just a coincidence that 15 kids in a 1-mile radius got the horrible cancer. And she's like, yes. Like, fuck you or whatever.
Well, then,
But then,
furthermore, like, and even if you can trace it back to our company, we're doing everything legally. So this is a
Right.
problem you have with the EPA, not with us.
Right, you should take it over with the legislature. No, it's great. And, I said out loud, she's a stone cold bitch, I love it. And then later she was like, this is bothering me. And I'm like, okay, fine. She's like,
She's not
also
stone
a human
cold.
bitch.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, she's able to like do the
She
thing.
can put up that front pretty well.
But then goes to Ward and it's like, I don't know about this. Are we on the right side of this or whatever?
I have a feeling, a yawning feeling, that we
Oh.
will see her with some heroin at one point in this episode. in
Taking
this
some
show.
heroin?
I think maybe it will get to her, and she's
Holy
like, I need
shit.
a little H.
Okay.
Speculation.
Let me counter that with some wild speculation of my own.
You're like, I don't think she will.
I think she won't. No. Like something happens later, and I said something like, I think at some point she's gonna be like, Ward, I'm stripping you of your whatevers, and like I have controlling interest or some weird thing like that. Because when he was like, you ever think about just peacing out? She was like, no, but if you go, I'll support you or something like that.
Yeah.
And then later in this episode, he's all high, and she's like, "We have to fix this, this problem." And he's like, "Thank you. You've always been, you've always had my back." And she's like, "We're family. Like it's fine." But I think she's got this like, I don't
Yeah,
know,
she's
killer
she's,
instinct.
she's definitely swarthy.
Hmm.
She can do what she does.
Wrote down about the stewardesses. Should mention, so Danny got that heroin at the end of the last episode with Gao's like symbol on it.
Sure.
He had someone from Rand Enterprises analyze it.
Yeah.
So if those stewardesses, whatever you want to, sales reps, were going back to Rand Enterprises because there's shady business going on, now the other person there who like analyzed the thing for Danny knows about the thing, and they know he knows, and some weird shit's happening or
Yeah.
whatever.
I wonder.
I'm still not quite sure what's happening there.
The whole thing's weird because it's like, he's very new to the company, so he can't trust anybody. Even his own secretary's like, so if I ask you to get me fruit roll-ups, will you get them? Can you tell me what's coming in on delivery tonight? And like, oh, no, I can't. But I can find out. Like,
Right.
I'm like, all right. So everyone might know everything that everyone knows.
No, and he's like, so what are you, like, like, what are you here to do? And she's like, scheduling and whatever. Like when you set me up with that pharmacist from before or whatever. She goes, right?
Yeah.
Weird.
It's very weird. Just be rich. Ignore your kung fu responsibilities.
Just enjoy richness. Who cares about
Let's
your
just
fist?
make the last, 7 episodes or whatever, just relaxing and being
Just
rich.
signing contracts,
Yeah.
doing blow off a hooker's ass. Speaking of which, that's a horrible segue. The night nurse is in this.
She has made her appearance, and we thought that was her from
Thought
the
about it,
moment,
yeah.
like the framing was set where you didn't see this person's face and they're kickboxing and doing some shit.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's probably the night nurse. And it was.
And it was, and she was there
Yeah.
being personally Mrs. Miyagi'd by Colleen, it seemed like.
Correct. And then
'Cause
she
she was-
butts in on some awesome takeout.
Yes, so that was, what the hell was that all about?
I don't know
Was
what
he
kind of
just
takeout that was.
trying? Well, he says something like, "This is the only restaurant I've ever heard of." Or, it's my dad's favorite restaurant. Some crazy
Yeah.
shit like that. But he was doing all that just to try to smooth things over and to get Colleen to come with him on missions.
I believe so.
That's so weird. Because he said that, but I was like, I filed it in temporary storage because I'm like, we'll figure out exactly what's going on soon.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't
they never
appear
looked around.
like he mentioned he has a vow of chastity, but we'll see if that lasts because
Well, okay.
everybody can vow everything until they do something else.
So while they're eating, he says he has a vow of chastity, and it cuts to Colleen, who effectively was like, "Pfft," was like, what? A vow
Yeah.
of chastity? Which I was like, okay, awesome. She's down. She wants it, and all that stuff.
Well,
But I
no,
don't-
she wants it right now because she can't have it.
I don't even know if he knows that she wants it because he took a vow of chastity.
He may never have seen a girl since his 10th birthday.
No, he was 10 when he disappeared. So if you take a vow of chastity, unless you were screwing some female monks before your vow of chastity, I think he's
I don't even think there are
virgin.
female monks. I think that's one of the professions that still does not have ladies.
It's in some weird dimension, so I'm not sure how it works. But that could
That's
totally be
also
the
true.
case. I have no fucking idea.
Maybe alien ladies.
But the point is, he's a virgin.
Yes. Most assuredly.
He doesn't really know the ropes. He may not even know that
He's
these
never
women
seen
are
a rope.
after him.
No.
He has no rope history technology at all.
No, and because he left this world when he was so young, I'm sure you'd still understand even at 10. People like people that have money. But no, he's very much out the loop.
He's very much out the loop, so he's potentially in the middle of a love triangle without any knowledge about this.
When you saw him use a phone, so they go to look for the heroin being delivered at the shipyard they originally purchased, and he takes a phone out to take a picture of it. And when he zoomed in, I was like, how the fuck would he know how to do that?
Oh, because he's been
The
away for so long?
two-pinch zoom didn't exist,
That's
10
true.
years, 15 years ago.
I'm assuming he's learned some things.
He's only been around for a minute.
I know that, but I think at a certain point, and I would love to hate this, but it doesn't bother me personally because I feel like, I had the same thought when Big Al, the hunter-gatherer, was like, I can look up anybody on here. Who do you want to see? And then he looks at the phone. I expected him to be like, holy shit, but he was just like, yeah, dead kid. No, he's not dead. He's me. And he just does that. And I
Yeah.
was like, shouldn't he be amazed by this? Where's he been? But I don't know when he came back to Earth. The Earth plane. Because he had to get his fake passport in Morocco and then come here or whatever. All that weird future shock probably happened in whatever China
That's
to whatever
true,
to
that's
Europe,
true.
wherever he went. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know if
No, you're right.
I don't know if we'll ever know, and I don't know if it will ever be explained.
No, very strange.
But before they go out to the dock, I just want to mention that he tells Colleen that he bought her building.
Yes, I enjoyed that.
I already told you I don't want any money
All
from
right,
you.
how about
No.
I pay your rent for this month or
Right.
whatever?
Well, he
no, I said no.
Or he said or maybe this month just don't worry about the rent or something, or you won't have to worry about your rent or whatever. She's like, I already told you, I'm not taking anything from you. He's like, I mean, I'm your landlord now. I bought your building, and you don't have to pay rent this month or whatever. I was like, oh, and she goes it's all fucking pissed off. It was great. It was awesome.
I wonder how much that building cost. Such an off the cuff, here you go. Because granted, he
Yeah,
became
did you,
51% owner of this company.
Yeah.
and that seemingly came with like $1 million a year for housing, but it didn't say like, and we give you money necessarily.
He probably has access to some holdings or something weird like that.
I would imagine there's something, but I wonder.
You could probably walk into like a bank and be like, "I'm Danny Rand. I need
Yeah,
credit."
and he probably
And
could
they're
say
like,
like, I want as an
Yeah.
investment to buy this building, and his firm or whatever. Just be like,
Yeah.
we own that building now.
You made an off-the-cuff comment while watching like 4 episodes ago or something about like like how much do you think the building that the dojo's in costs? A lot or not much?
Do I think cost?
Yeah, did you make a comment about that? I thought you did.
Real estate is very hard. What are they in New York?
They appear to be.
They appear to be in. Actually, no, they're definitely in New York because the defenders
Yeah.
in New York.
Well, yes, but I mean I don't know where.
Well, like the skyscraper that they have all their holdings in, the Rand building, assuming
Yeah.
they own it, which I would imagine they do.
Yeah, it's a
they're-
bajillion dollars.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That's like, I don't know, $800 million. Like,
yeah, but like her dojo is just in some other little
no,
shitty
but
building.
just
He
to
could
say,
totally
it's
buy
still
that,
it's
right?
still in the city, and I don't know that it still would be pocket change. A building, I don't know, 40 million.
Yeah, I have no idea. Have we really seen the exterior much? I don't know how
Not
much
really,
we've really
no.
seen. But
But property in New York is fucking expensive.
it totally is. But he's a billionaire now. with the
No,
B.
but billionaires doesn't necessarily mean you just have the money. Like
No,
billionaire
totally
is saying
not.
what your complete assets are worth.
Yeah. It's not liquid, but I feel like he could do something.
But because he wants to
It's probably
retain the
very
power of this
frivolous.
company, like he could not afford to even sell 1% because then he would not be a majority owner.
Oh no, yeah, he wouldn't be doing that. He would be saying like, the company is gonna buy this. I've
Yes,
decided,"
yes.
or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
that kind of stuff's always strange to me. Where I'm like, there's a lot of moving parts there. I'm not sure how they exactly would be.
Well, all this stuff with like, because we made a comment like at some other point they're like, okay, let's vote on something, and you were like, Danny's not here, isn't his the only
Isn't
vote
his the
that
only
matters?
vote that matters?
Like,
yeah.
what are we doing? And it was like, right. So like he's like, I really hoped he would be here to represent his whatevers, but I guess we're just gonna make the decision without him. Is that how it works? Do you
Yeah,
have
I
to
don't
go?
know. If you don't show up, you
do
don't
you
get
have
a
to
vote. Or-
attend? I don't know.
That does make sense. And not being in attendance means you waive
Yeah.
your vote, or you could have a proxy vote. And I think they would assume he'd want to just give away money.
I feel like there's a lot of shit going on with like, because there's like there's the shit that everyone knows because every movie does it a certain way. Then there's like real life, which I'm sure is nothing like that.
Yes,
And then there's
yes.
who knows what the fuck else is happening like now today. If you own 51% of a company, what does that mean? And every
And
company
this is
probably
also
different.
assuming that, like, based on everything that this makes me believe, this company's not public because
Right.
it doesn't have any shareholders
They're
to
not
talk
worried
to
about,
because they'd be obligated to sell that pill at $50, I believe.
Well, and they would definitely be saying stuff like, this is going to hurt our stock price, or we have to go to the shareholder
Yeah.
meeting, or whatever the fuck.
It's very rare to
It
hear
would
of,
be like a
of a
thing.
billionaire company that's not public.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that either. Rand Enterprises.
But, it's fake, so it's fine.
I'm fine with all the fakeness.
Yeah.
Worked with the drugs. We got that. So at that Pier Dock place, the trucks get opened. He pinch zooms to see them. They just have mundane weird shit in them. They looked like storage units.
Yeah, they had, like, nothing. But, again, we only could see the first, 3 feet into the truck.
Yes.
So, and as we are eventually proven, that is just a front.
Well, the third truck just has crazy, totally unlabeled. Presumably, they looked empty to me because of how they were laying. But movie magic, whatever. They're not really empty or something like that. But just weird boxes, and then like a total false back, which ends up being a tarp, which ends up leading into a fucking weird little living room where dudes are watching soccer because he's escorting a fucking chemist from Upsplania or whatever the fuck.
Upsplania.
To fucking come and make all their heroin and all that stuff. And there's this long fight, in that container with that dude, even though he's not been set up, and we don't know if he's supposed to be so good or something like that.
No,
Later,
he
Gao-
did not Iron Fist him. He inconsistencies in some fighting things. Because earlier he took out the trained members of fucking the
Full-time
triads.
ninjas,
there was
right?
nothing. But random Armenian dude in a truck rips him apart.
There's no real. It was fine. It was a decent fight. He's got the knife, and it's such tight quarters that pieces of stuff's breaking off, and they're using them in the fight. That was cool.
But ultimately
But it's
he allowed that man to stab the scientist in the
Yep.
lung,
Which was totally crazy.
which gave us reason to go back to the night nurse to have him patched
Yeah,
up.
we called that too, where it's we have to bring him to the hospital. It's like, no, we know someone. Oh, yes. And she was all like, why does this keep happening to me? Which is great.
Because she realized they know the Hand also, and the Hand
Yeah.
is who was stabbing up Daredevil.
Yeah, and you were hoping there'd be.
I was hoping that'd be a crossover series
cameo thing.
because she made a point of saying like, these are not people you want to deal
Don't
with.
do this
You're
alone.
a rich kid from like suburbia or whatever. You can't take this on. There are people that have special skills, and he's like, I am the Hand, or I am Iron
I am the Iron Hand Fist man, Danny Rand.
But it could have been really cool for it to be a Daredevil scenario, but it was.
I would have. I don't know if
It would be too early in the show, I think, to make a cameo like that anyway.
I don't know. So like I've been blessed. It's only been a couple of days. I haven't heard any spoilers really, or like
Yeah,
anything
I've
at all.
avoided.
You've heard like more than me because you said people are not reacting as well to this one.
Yeah.
But I've heard zero. So it's possible there is a major cameo from one of the other defenders that I just don't know about. It doesn't feel like there will be. I hope there will be.
You would think there'd be a setup because this is the last
They
one
would have
before the
dropped
Defenders,
something
right?
in. Yeah. So they should know each
Yeah.
other.
There should be some kind of something, or else they have to start with exposition. If they
Well-
end this with a group doing something, that means it starts with the group.
That would be awesome because otherwise, like let's say this is totally standalone.
Uh-huh.
Defenders has to begin with like Daredevil or like the characters we know and love,
Yeah.
and then just like something happens. I know a guy with a fist, and then he just shows up and like.
And I could be
You
wrong,
know?
but I thought Defenders is only going to be like 6 episodes or something.
Oh really?
I didn't think
Yeah,
it's
it
a full
could be.
season. And I forget why I even think that. I feel like I read it somewhere.
Could be like a long movie instead of like a
Yeah.
actual more.
So
of a series.
even more so, I would love for it to end with like
no time. I can't stretch
hey,
that.
we're
in.
killing some bitches.
That would be like ideal. I don't know how they're going to work in the different characters, but I've heard no rumors about anyone making an appearance here.
I know.
So I
Well, you
don't
had
know if
Luke
it's gonna
Cage
happen.
throughout like a majority of Jessica Jones.
Right.
So there's no reason you couldn't have Luke Cage, Jessica Jones in this with Daredevil.
There's no reason why it like wouldn't happen, but like Luke Cage was all over Jessica Jones before he was Luke Cage. He was just right.
True.
He didn't exist yet. I think since a character's been like revealed, they've not appeared somewhere else
No, that's also true.
since they've had their own show. I mean,
Yes.
because I was hoping Jessica Jones would be in like season 2 of Daredevil or something, right? But it was just the lawyer, and we already had the lawyer, Hearthgar.
Yeah. Cameos, crossover minor leagues.
But we're only approaching the halfway point here with the next episode.
Exactly.
So there's still plenty of time for that and some kung fu fighting.
All right, so we're going to go check out the next episode, and we'll see you in a little bit.